beginning of my relationship with Fender was based off one video. And then all the other ones came just immediately right after that.
Yo guys, what's up? It's Johnny Cruz here with our podcast, our very first podcast with a special guest. You guys are not going to believe this. We have here in the studio Matthew Phillips. Matthew,
hey, Johnny.
say hi.
Hey guys, Matthew Phillips here. Thank you for having me, Johnny.
Yeah, no worries, man. No, guys, you guys are in for a treat. Matthew Phillips is from San Diego, and seriously one of my favorite guitarists to watch live. He is an amazing human being, super humble, but so knowledgeable in everything he does. And I just love him because his work ethic and how much he cares about his craft.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, no worries, man. So I'm gonna make sure that I don't talk a lot because I want you to talk a lot. So pretty much, man, for the audience that's listening, this is such a treat because what's really special about Matthew, apart from him being an amazing, talented musician and putting on great shows, is, first of all, his entrepreneurship and his mindset. So, Matthew, I really want you to kind of just talk about your journey from, because there's a lot of musicians in San Diego.
Yeah.
But not a lot of musicians who make that switch in their mind to put the guitar down and learn business, learn the tools to promote themselves. And so kind of what happened to you, because you know I knew that you were kind of grew up in the church, or playing a lot and doing sound and stuff, but where did that switch go where you started to get into that mindset? Go ahead.
It really was, being in bands for years and years and seeing how not to do it, that I learned when I went to my solo project. Okay, this is how you're not supposed to do it. And when I did my solo project, it was really, oh, okay, well, I had 5 years of messing up and doing it the wrong way to learn, the last about 2.5 years to doing it the right way.
And what kind of gave you that awareness, right? Because a lot of people right now, musicians, are in that 5-year experience that you had, right? Kind of like this abyss, right? What kind of hit your mind, like that enlightenment?
It was more a necessity, because it's like when it's all you, it's all you. There's no one else to blame. There's no, oh, dude, this guy's not pulling his weight. No, dude. Matthew Phillips is a solo artist. I don't work if I don't pick up the phone. I don't work if I don't email. I don't work if I'm not on social media. So it literally was out of necessity.
Now, for the audience, is there some mentors or, like, let's say books, or maybe, for me, I like Ty Lopez, I like Gary V.
Gary V. Yeah.
Gary V.
Love Gary V.
What kind of what do you like about him that has helped you, or just in a sense, just like about it, that's really helped your game?
I would just say just getting out there and doing it. Like, one of his things is just like, dude, shut up and do it, and that was actually kind of one of the things that pushed me out, was like, dude, why are you sitting on your couch? Get up, go do something, play open mics, do whatever you have to do to start performing in front of people. And that's also kind of the shift you were talking about earlier as well. Yeah.
Sweet, man. No, well, because for the audience that's listening right now, I think from musicians here in San Diego, the way we see Matthew Phillips is he's a genius at branding. Like, you're someone that really understands branding. If people do watch Gary V or Ty Lopez, like, you're that musician that applies a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So talk about, I know your mindset about entrepreneurship, but really get into branding and how that important that was for you to, like, really up your game.
What's interesting is I really didn't know what I was doing when I was doing it. I was just kind of, hey, my name needs to be in front of everything. It's my brand. But, like, when I originally started, I didn't think about it in that way. Only about a year and a half in, or a year in, that I started to be like, oh, okay, so that's a brand. Like, I'm building a brand now. And so, yeah, at first I really didn't know what I was doing. And so it was a very big shift, again, from going from the band thing to the Matthew Phillips thing. And I didn't really know what I was doing, but it just kind of felt right. And so, yeah.
No, I love it, man, because, like, I'm into entrepreneurship and, like, kind of right now my mind is opening, kind of like how your mind opened in the past. So for me, dude, I love, like, the whole white and gold. Like, I go to your shows. If you guys go to Matthew Phillips shows, definitely, because, go ahead and little him showing the color. I love it. I think it's important. I think it's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what made you choose those colors?
Actually, the gentlemen who they've worked with me since I was a band. The guys from the Saints and Symphony, Troy and Scott, they've always taken care of me, and they've always provided me with some of the most dope gear in the world. And I just remember I got this shirt, and this was kind of like the thing that set off the white and gold, look. And so once I got this shirt, that kind of, I was like, oh, I might as well start doing everything white and gold. And then like now, all my gear is white and gold, and everything I have is white and gold. And that's purposeful, and that is branding, and it's just having that consistency. It's actually really funny that my friends who see me like perform multiple times, they're like, why do you always keep wearing the same shirt? I'm like, dude, because that's branding and it's marketing and it's consistency. And, if you go to a Taylor Swift show, it's going to be the same show 27 dates out of the 27 dates. It's just going to be the same show. That's branding, it's marketing. And so, okay, I get it.
No, for me, dude, I love the white because it's like like white symbolizes purity, and your tone is like the most purest thing I've ever heard. Your guitar tone.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. A lot of work.
And the gold is like, the gold represents like how like awesome your solos are. Anyways, I really love that solo.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, because like I really loved that really nice clean solo you did with B Slate, right? Was it? He was nominated for Grammy 3 times, and you got to work with him.
Yes.
And this kind of goes into, when it comes to branding and you working with artists like that, this goes into kind of like how you really were one of the original musicians on Instagram.
Yes. Yeah. I actually go back to 3 or 4, maybe even 5 years now on Instagram. I was really one of the first ones. And it was a completely different platform back then. There was a thing called the Pop page, which, if you got on that page, every single Instagram user on the whole platform would see you. So I leveraged that from the beginning, playing around the world and, just playing shows everywhere. And I would get on the Pop page and I would trend on that, and I would be seen by every single user on the platform. And so I developed a big following back when it was, pretty, just like the YouTubers now who are huge now because they were on the platform first. So that gave me a huge advantage on Instagram when I originally started.
Damn, that's pretty powerful. So, I mean, how would you, because, obviously there's a lot of apps that come out. Like, there's this app that kind of failed. I don't know, it's called, like, Vero or something like that. It's kind of,
yeah.
Yeah, and there's more apps coming out. I think John and I, who's here in the studio, our sound guy, DJ, we went to VidCon. And there's just these apps that are coming out. There's now, like...
Everyone trying to make the next Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, for you, I mean, I commend you, because... You actually, it's that same thing. Instagram's out. Like, what is this thing? Can I really use it? And you went for it.
I went for it.
Yeah. So did you go for it because you saw that like Instagram was made really well, or did you go for it because you're just like, oh, this is simple or this is efficient? Like, what was your process on looking at the app and being like, okay, I could really use this as a tool to brand myself?
Actually, again, back then, I had no idea what I was doing. Brand wasn't even a word in my vocabulary, and so it was actually my best friend Todd who was like, hey, I think you should like get on this Instagram app. And I totally disregarded it at first. I was like, that's Facebook, dude. Facebook, MySpace, that's what it's going to be. And I'm glad I listened to him because, man, so many things have happened because of that little app. But he was kind of the one who actually started a profile for me, got pictures up there. He was running it for the first, couple months. He's like, hey dude, you have like a couple thousand followers on here, and like I think you should jump on this and take over. And then I did, and then it just kind of went up from there, and I figured out how to use it. Hashtags were super powerful back then. Again, the Pop page was the thing I kept trying to just nail on, and I did, and I leveraged it, and I just kept pushing and pushing. I'm not even kidding when I say I had 2 different phones, probably like 8+ hours each a day on each one, killing the batteries twice on each phone. Like, that's how crazy I was into that app, and I used it constantly. And I've actually cut back a lot because Instagram can take away some of your creativity and just your time. So that's why I got so good at the app, because I was so heavily invested in it to the point where it was like almost like scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is like this is where like the whole deserved factor comes in, right? Mm-hmm. Like, because you have 120,000 followers, and for the audience listening, like, you deserve all those followers because of the grind. You weren't
Appreciate
given
that.
Yeah, you weren't. Well, you weren't given these followers. You know, they came to you, and it's because of your grind. It's because of your knowledge. And I mean, like, for the audience listening, like, look how far Matthew Phillips stretched himself to have 2 phones to really go after something. You know.
Yeah.
So for musicians out there that are either doing YouTube or Instagram, or go, you know, like, really follow Matthew's example and just go for it and grind it out. You know.
Yep.
But this really goes into what I want to really talk about, which is more important, which is the content. You have some amazing content on Instagram.
Yes.
I really want to talk about some of the things that blew up, considering Purple Rain.
Yes, that was one of the biggest.
Yeah, I really, really love it. And even when it came out at the time, it just was so polished. Even the solo that you did, and just the whole post was amazing. It's like, it's something you don't see a lot on that platform. So just talk about some of the stuff that blew up for you, that you did creatively, that you saw a lot of traction.
Well, it really, you know, the videos, because the video on Instagram, that didn't happen until about 2 years ago. Like, that was kind of a newer feature, and when it first came out, it was like 15 seconds. It wasn't a minute. So once it hit a minute, that's when creatives could start actually utilizing it, because at 15 seconds, it was really tough to try and get, you know, actual, you know, content up and made for it. But once it went to a minute, I remember emailing a girl named Elise Tro, and I was like, hey, I would love to, you know, do the song that I do live with you. You're like a super cool drummer. And, you know, at the time, I think she was around like 100K too, and we were just kind of both still kind of infants in the music industry. And she was like, yeah, sure, that'd be cool. And like, just showed up at her house, and we just cut it right there, and I think 1 or 2 takes, and then we put it up. And that clip got noticed by a Fender A&R rep, and he shot me a DM. He's like, hey, dude, I'd love to get you on the phone. When are you free? And I was just like, am I dreaming right now? Did that just cause Fender? So, like, that got Fender's attention? No way. And it turns out he used to, I believe he used to be the A&R rep for Johnny Resnick of the Goo Goo Dolls. Or he had some connection with the Goo Goo Dolls, like, very closely. And so he loved that song, and that was kind of the beginning of my relationship with Fender, was based off one video. And then all the other ones came just immediately right after that.
Yeah. No, it was a smart play. I think, like, because I kind of caught that. You know, I was following, how do you pronounce her name? Elise Tro. Mm-hmm. I was following her when she had like maybe 2,000 followers, but I think that when you teamed up with her, she had like a lot less, probably like 20,000, honestly. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think.
No, because she was up there with me. She was in the 100K. Yeah, because we would compete. This is how I met her, or I found her, is we would do hashtag San Diego, and I would trend in the top, and then she would be right there, and I'm like, who is this? Who do I keep seeing? Who's this musician that's next to me? Yeah. And so we would always trend next to each other, and I'd be like, okay, I need to figure out who this is. And then, so that's how I found her. So that's why I know she was still, you know, very influential at that time.
Yeah.
I think definitely over 100K. Okay, it had to be. Yeah, because...
Well, we can fight about this later. we can, you know, like, duke it out. No, I'm just playing. But anyways, I think that tell us more. Like, so you had a couple other videos that blew up.
Yes.
Yeah, talk about that.
I would say the biggest one was the Purple Rain.
Yeah.
With B Slade, because it wasn't just my video that blew up on my channel. My channel, but my Instagram. It then went to Guitars Daily, Pick Up Jazz, Guitars Are Better. Right there, we just hit 600,000 new people. And so then all these other sub pages, repost pages, it just was like a waterfall. That's the best way. And it just trickled to every page. And then it was going even around the world to pages that weren't even in English. And so that was cool. So that one went viral on Instagram, and that was kind of like what really put me on the map as a guitar player, basically a guitar player.
Yeah. Yeah, so no, so right now I just want to tell the audience to, like, if you have a chance after or even right now, really look up Matthew Phillips Instagram and check out that video, because
Appreciate it.
I think what's so inspiring about that video is just how your playing style, your tone.
I need to touch on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I cannot claim that solo. That is Prince's solo.
Oh, okay.
It is from a concert in 2010 in Spain, where someone was just sitting there with a camera, and I found it, and it's no longer available. I can't find it anywhere. It's not on YouTube. It was originally on some other site in a foreign country or something, and it's been removed. It's gone. So I was able to pick up that solo and pretty much play note for note what he played live in 2010 in an arena in Spain. So that is Prince's solo. So I can't claim anything. I just did my best to emulate him.
Okay, another example of how Matthew Phillips is super humble. No, but even then, like you like for the audience listening, and even musicians, like the fact that you're not in your room watching, like, you know, a movie 20 times. Like you're like, let me find this video. Let me do my research.
Yep.
So for anyone listening, these are like really golden nuggets to,
thank you, man,
to really kind of just follow his example. Like these are really great things. Yeah, and you had a couple more, or like just maybe talk about your photo shoots, or the shoots, some of the photos that you have on there, because I know you did Kaboo.
Yes, Kaboo.
Yes, I really love your photo. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the call for that a little while back, and one of the coolest things I think about that whole experience was being able to say that I was on the same bill as Tom Petty at one of his last shows, sadly. But yeah, it's an experience that I'll never forget. You know, my name was right there, and his was right there. It was just crazy. It was a surreal experience. And then on top of that, just the other acts that were playing at that festival, Muse, Pink, who else? The Red Hot Chili Peppers. I mean, we got to be backstage with all these people, and they're all of them awesome people. Got to mingle with all of them. So it's really cool experience.
And honestly, like for the audience listening, if what really highlights this and these opportunities that Matthew gets is because he puts on really good shows. And,
thank you.
Well, apart from his shows, I mean, like he's been able to attract. Okay, let's see. We have a list of sponsors here that also love your shows. I mean, very powerhouse companies. We got Fender, GHS Strings, Taylor Guitars, Electro Voice, Telefunken Mics, Tsunami Cables. I mean, I'm like, just there's more. JHS Pedals.
Yep.
Function One, West Coast Pedal Boards, Saint Symphony Clothing, and even water.
Yeah.
Even water.
I met them at Kaboo. They were the sponsor of the stage I played on.
Yeah.
And Instagram. I literally sent the guy a DM. I said, hey, I would love to meet the person behind this page. And that's how it happened. Simple as that.
No, so yeah, we're talking about your endorsements because these guys are also loving your show. Apart from, you know, it's honestly, for anyone listening, this is like a big deal. But that comes back to the most important thing is like your music, your shows.
The live show.
Yeah, and again, for anyone listening, Matthew's a very humble guy, but his shows are amazing. I really appreciate like how you you go up and beyond, honestly. You know, for everyone out there who goes to shows, or sometimes they're just bands. They show up, set up their amps, yell at the sound guy, and then they play, right? And you know,
seen it over and over.
But I think apart from, again, we're gonna go into the actual show. But Matthew at his shows, he's always like grateful for everyone who's helping him out. Yeah. He's always polite to the sound guy. He's always polite to the staff. Again, he's a big deal, but he just speaks to everyone like they're human. I think that's what's amazing about you. And I think a lot of your fans really appreciate that about you. You're always there to thank them, and you're so passionate about your fan base. So I think for anyone listening and future fans, you know, this guy really does care about the support. But anyways, back to the shows. The shows, I love them a lot. Number one, your guitar tone is amazing. Probably one of the most amazing guitar tones live that I hear. So if you guys watch the the Purple Rain video that
Yes.
he made. His tone actually sounds like that live. Probably even like better, because like now that time has passed, he's had some cool little upgrades, some little mic sponsorships, but they sound pretty sick. But I think what I love about Matthew's, apart from his playing, his arrangements, the songs that he puts in order, his band, is he is one of those musicians who actually sees the importance in visuals.
Yes.
Now keep in mind, Matthew's, a lot of this stuff he's kind of spearheading. Like he's kind of leading it. He's kind of, honestly, sometimes he's kind of doing it on his own because it's a creative thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you go that far, and this is where you had that show at, was it Music Box?
The Music Box.
That really got some reps looking at you. Just
Yes.
Right. Go ahead and talk about that, please.
That was an incredible show. It was at the Music Box, and they have a 30-foot LED wall behind you that you can choose to utilize or not. And so, I got my video guy, Chris Ruel, who is amazing. I love working with him. He's actually captured a lot of the things that you've seen on my Instagram website, etc. And I said, hey, look, I think we should make a visual that actually, acts out what's going on behind me. And he was like, okay, how can we do it? And I was like, well, I do play with tracks live, so let's just start the tracks here and start the music video on their computer at the same time. And that is literally how we did it. I'd made a 30-minute video and then a 30 minutes of my music, and it was as simple as one person at the bottom flashing a light and going 1, 2, 3, go, and that's how it happened. And everything was perfectly synced for the whole show, and that's how we did it.
The glory of solid state drives, right?
Yep.
Imagine if it was like 2007, you press the space bar, and like your hard drive's like trying to catch up, dude. Like, oh god, Jesus. No, but so talk about again your shows for anyone listening. What I love about them is they're super colorful. I mean, not trying to compare it to anything, but it's kind of you really give an experience that someone would get going to, let's say, like an EDM show or a rave, right?
That's really cool. That's a big compliment.
Yeah.
Because I love that kind of music, and I love those lighting rigs and people like Odessa. I'm just like, whoa, I would kill for that production. Like, that is where I want to be.
Yeah, who was it you mentioned?
Odessa.
Odessa.
I saw
them at Coachella.
Yeah, Coachella. So it's cool because you have you have the branding of the gold and white, and then you really mix a lot of like, I mean, let's just say it, modern colors like this. I mean, if you look at Matthew, if you want to show him like kind of that really that was at Music Box, wasn't it?
Yes, that picture was actually at the Music Box show.
Yeah, we'll actually post. I mean, if you're watching the video, we're gonna put it up so you can check it out. But yeah, that's what I love. And talk to me about some stories. So you've played at some iconic places.
Yes.
Go into the audience, like, because you played a lot of places that were just amazing stuff. So go ahead and what's like a list of places that were just so iconic and so sentimental to you to just be like, wow, like I'm playing here.
I think the number one. Oh, there's so many good ones. I guess I'll just do like the top 3. The Cavern in Liverpool was special because, that's where the Beatles started and they got their start there. And for an original act to be, asked to play there was a pretty big deal. And Paul McCartney had just played there 2 weeks before us. So that was just like, whoa. Like we literally are playing, that same stage. So that was a cool moment. And to be, an international touring act in that arena, it's so competitive. And on top of that, they normally want, pretty much Beatles music all the time because that's why people go to the Cavern in Liverpool is for the Beatles, exhibit. And so I was a little nervous because I play 2-piece, me and a drummer, and a lot of tracks. So I was like, man, these people are not I'm not the Beatles, I'm not playing Beatles music, and I don't have a full band. But I was pleasantly surprised at how well everyone accepted me and how many people came up after the show and were, asking for autographs and guitar picks and just pictures. And it was a really cool experience because I was going in pretty pretty nervous to that one just because the bar is so high. Paul just played there.
Right.
And then I would say definitely the next one would be the Troubadour in Los Angeles. That was another magical moment because I know like John Mayer's played there, Guns N' Roses just played there, this massive Tom Petty's played there, John Fogerty. The names, it's just unbelievable who's played there. Yeah, it was a special moment. That was a cool show, and I got to open for one of the best guitar players I think in the world, Zane Carney. So he's just a monster guitar player.
It's crazy.
What would the third one be? Those two. I said those two.
Okay, no,
those are so iconic.
Keep it short and sweet.
Well, then I guess Kaboo. Let's just say Kaboo would be number 3.
Yeah, that was
just
sick.
the sheer size of the production, the names on the bill.
Right.
Yeah, those 3.
And so like let's get into just some stories you have, because I know that I've met some of your fans and there's been fans that just have been so inspired by your shows and have come up to you and just said how much your music and your music experience has kind of lifted them up. Like, talk about those stories. Like, talk about stories of just fans and like places where you felt like, man, I'm really making a difference in someone's life, or any funny moments like that or something like that.
Yeah, I think for me, it's most of the most impactful moments, or it's when the little kids come up. And there was a time I was playing a festival in San Felipe, and this kid came up to me and Adam Graham, my drummer, and he was just so excited. He'd never seen like an act like us, and he just wanted an autograph on his hand. He was just so like, oh my gosh, this is like amazing. You guys are amazing. And he just wanted to just kind of hang around with us. And he was like, yeah, man, just play. All you got to do is play. And just recently at the Troubadour, there was a little kid. His name's Cash. I saw him in the front row, and after the show, he came up to me. He was just super excited. He's like, dude, I play guitar. He's actually really good. I found him on Instagram. He's amazing. And then I saw him just recently at my San Diego show at the House of Blues, and he was there too. And I just remember coming out on the first song and just, I was like, you're here. What the heck? That's amazing. To be in LA and also come to San Diego, like about a month apart.
Right.
It was just so cool, and that's such a blessing to inspire people, because I was that kid, and to be like, I'd never thought I would be at that level where I could inspire people in any way. So that's just a gift that I consider a gift from God, that, there's no greater honor than for people to, you to inspire people. And
any funny moments, any crazy moments you had that were like kind of like a show that you had? Maybe it wasn't a place that was iconic, but just a funny thing happened there. Like, oh my God, like at this venue, this fan, just talks about some like funny stories. All right, guys, if you hear like if it's kind of like a cut, it's just because we had a huge helicopter come by, so we don't want you guys to hear that. We got like really cool condenser mics, and Matthew's mic picks up everything. So, but anyways, no, so yeah, so let's go back to any funny moments in your shows that just you'll always remember for the rest of your life that's happened, or maybe it was a fan, or maybe a production thing, or
yeah, there's been a few. I guess say hiccups, not so much funny. Like, to me, they're not funny, because it's like the end of the world when something bad happens.
No, because you got music people listening too. So
yeah.
So
I was building up to a solo, and one of my songs, and it's like the big part of the song. Everything's building up, and then right when I go for the first note, my wireless just cuts. Not even like a minute before where I could have fixed it. Jeez. But like right on the one, and I'm like,
and it's running a click.
Yeah, we're running clicks. I'm just like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just standing there pretending like I'm playing, and at some point I'm just like, okay, like let's just slowly turn down the tracks, and I'll walk off the stage. And it was just like the most awkward thing, because everyone was like so hyped to this one moment, and then it was just like, what just happened?
How'd you recover?
I didn't. There was nothing I could do. That's.
Well, thanks for sharing that.
I know that was a terrible moment.
Super embarrassing, but
it was.
I appreciate you sharing that. No, guys, if you go to Matthew's shows, that stuff doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, that happened one time, and we've never. And it happened. It was all my fault because I left the wireless pack on for just like 4 hours for no reason. It was just on. So it was totally my fault. And then
this is when you didn't know anything. You didn't know any better. So it didn't happen when you were like woke. And I think that's like the new term.
Well, like now I have, like if that happens now, I have a guitar tech on the side of the stage. I'm just like, hey, bring me another one. So that's cool.
Damn, so
love you, Josh.
So prestige. So you talk to us like what's happening now. Like you got some shows coming up. I know that you're working on an album.
Yes.
Yeah. So actually. Talk about your new music coming out. Like, I really want you to, like, what do you want people to feel? Like, what do you feel? What? I'm like stuttering. Let me slow down. When you think about this record that's coming out, what is the story that you're telling? What is you want people to feel? What do you want people to understand about you in this record? Go ahead.
That each song is really its own story, and I don't particularly like telling people what the songs are about. I love for them to make it their own and discover what it means to them, because that way they feel the most attached to the song. Because if I tell people, hey, this song is about this scenario, and I dot out everything, well then their imagination can't really run and decide how they want to interpret it. So I kind of like to leave all my songs up to interpretation. Of course, sometimes I'll introduce like one, like, hey, this is a friend zone song. And then they make the connection with, oh yeah, that girl friend zoned me a long time ago, or that guy friend zoned me. Like, so that just little guidelines, not really so much like the whole record. But it's definitely kind of like my life story, I guess, of moments. And I never write a song about something I don't feel.
Which is funny because you talk about, I mean, if for anyone listening, that's like a golden nugget that you gave right now about songwriting, is because some people like write and it's so specific. Like people hear it, they're like, oh, I know what the song's about.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a movie, right? Like you watch 15 minutes in. Like me, if you watch a movie with me, I can already tell you what the ending's going to happen like 20 minutes into the movie. But that's sometimes, I mean, it could be a style.
Yeah.
But some songwriters now, they just like, the song's going to be about it like 30 seconds in. And it's cool that you still have like a mysterious angle. Yeah. Like, and I think it's funny because like you and I both love that song by Goo Goo Dolls. What was the title? It was Iris, right?
Iris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that song can mean so many things to different people, dude. Like,
and that's what makes it beautiful.
Yes, exactly, man. Like you could be going through a breakup, or it could be like you lost someone, or and you just hear the chorus. It's just and
that's what makes a good song.
Yeah.
It really does.
No, but so talk about your production, because you did give a teaser on social media, and you're having like some synth sounds now, right? You're like using synths, and
they've ever since I started the solo stuff, I've worked with my producer Jarrell Iran, and he's really kind of taken my production to the next level with the synth sounds and just really making stuff sound modern. Because before, like when I was with my band, we were very limited. It was like a guitar, a keyboard, bass, and drums, and that was it. And so now working with Jarrell, it's really, really expanded my musical palette and what I do live. And also running an Ableton rig has enabled me to bring those sounds live, because that's something I could never do before. Yeah.
Well, this goes back to, I mean, I was talking a topic with my friend today about like humbleness. And it's just kind of like if anyone's listening, see, Matthew's at the point where he could still be doing what he's doing, right? Like the drums, the guitar, the bass. But for you to work with your producer and kind of expand and like allow yourself to grow, I think that's what every musician should always, number one, be humble and always see if there's someone that you connect with that can sharpen your craft.
Yes.
Right?
It's a big thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something I didn't learn until very recently. Not very recently, but like, before the solo stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about like some shows that are coming up and kind of see what if some openings that people can come and watch you play.
Well, my next show is going to be at the Sabian Theater in Beverly Hills. So that's going to be,
damn.
kind of far away from. I know it's beautiful. I wish I could like show a picture, like they could see. Actually, we could do that, right? Post. No?
What? Yeah.
Yeah?
No. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna
Oh, cool.
post. We're gonna like.
So
Yeah.
I'll send you that picture
Yeah,
because it's just like, whoa, this is like a legit, like humongous theater in Beverly Hills. That's going to be on the 28th. And then I have like a artist showcase with Sam Ash Music on the 10th for their 3-year anniversary of the store. And that was cool. That just happened like today.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, hey.
Oh, here in San Diego?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then...
You should have told me about it, dude. I had my day off.
Well, it's going to be November 10th.
Oh, okay.
It's coming up.
Okay, got it. Oh, you were talking to them about it
today. Like, that just happened today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Matthew was hitting me up. He's like, yeah, I'm in a meeting.
Yep.
Just leave me alone. Nah, he wasn't like that. No, but he was in a meeting. But so pretty much the Sam Ash and then the one in Beverly Hills and any other show for right now?
Not that we have, like, an actual date for it. There's a lot of pending shows. Everything is booked 3-6 months out.
Nice.
So
Cool.
It's like you almost don't want to say stuff because it's still pending dates. So there's definitely a lot of stuff happening, and you just gotta be following me on IG or my email list if you want to come to shows. Yeah,
and so for the audience, if they want to go to these shows, if you can just spell out your name, they can search you up on Instagram.
Yeah. Matthew Phillips, Matthew, and then Phillips is PHILLIPS music.com. So that's my website, and that can literally get you to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and SoundCloud.
Man, is there any last words you have, not just to fans, but to musicians, just in general, that you would say? Again, we talked about your entrepreneurship. What would you say is like a phrase that really drives your life right now that you kind of always hold on to in your mind?
Just get out there and do it. Don't sit back and wait for someone else to do it for you, because you're the only one holding you back. That's really what, like, it's all on you. Everything's on you. And I think Gary Vee even says that a lot, It all comes back to you.
If you were to go back in time and meet your younger self when you didn't know anything, would you say that's what you would tell yourself?
No.
What would you tell yourself?
I would say practice more.
Oh, come on, dude.
I swear.
Oh, for real?
I would. Because now I barely have time to practice because I'm always doing business. And it's almost frustrating how caught up I get with booking, video editing, and all the other things.
Wow. I didn't think you were going to say that. That's very interesting.
That's true.
Dude, Matthew Phillips, so much value you brought in this podcast, man. Thanks for coming to the studio here.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
I have a little studio here in National City if anyone wants to stop by and swing by. But Matthew, dudes, thank you so much for just sharing your story, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
And hopefully for the fans listening or musicians listening, I guess I'll see you in the show because I'll be in the audience.
Thank you, man.
I love hearing
I appreciate
it. It kind of inspires me. But any last words that you just want to, for anyone listening, just
keep playing.
Just keep playing.
Keep playing. Keep pushing. Never stop. Don't ever stop playing. That's the number one thing I always tell people.
Sweet.
Don't stop playing.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. I'm going to post this podcast up, and thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
See you, bro.